too much. He fell asleep at the wheel and crashed head-on into a cement wall. He was in a wheelchair for 1 year. He continued to drink until he died. I then went to work at Rain Shoe Company in Ventura. One day I was on a ladder and fell into a cement floor. Consequently, I injured my back. My doctor prescribed Vicodin 500 milligrams. I liked the feeling so much, I asked him, hoping I could get a stronger dose. He said, sure, why not? Knowing that I wasn't faking the pain. He gave me 1,500 milligrams. I then started consuming 50 pills a week. I also remember going to Hermosa Beach to the lighthouse to listen to jazz. We had no booze left, so I had a relative who had a beach house. I went into the house and into the bedroom to ask them if they had any liquor. Wow, these were the people I had never seen before. I quietly went to the refrigerator and took half a gallon of wine, and then I attended a high school reunion. I started dating a woman I married a year later. That lasted 1 year because of the excessive use of Vicodin and a bad gambling habit that destroyed that marriage. Once I had premium tickets to a Laker game. My date couldn't get a babysitter. In a rage, I tore up the tickets and proceeded to get a pint of tequila and a six-pack. My alcoholic mind said, let's go to Cali racetrack. By the time I got to San Diego, the fog was so thick you could nearly see. I got my first DUI. I went home and started drinking again. 1 month later, I got my second DUI. I started taking a nurse who also drank. I got her pregnant, but she didn't want to get married. One day I got a phone call asking if I was Fred Jesus. That person said she was a young woman who thought she was my daughter. I arranged to meet her in Santa Barbara. The minute I saw her, I knew she was mine. When he was 17, he got caught in the car with 2 ounces of marijuana. Oh, that was my brother. Got caught in the car with 2 ounces of marijuana. He went to court, and consequently, he turned to heroin. For the marijuana charge, he got 1 year in Preston prison. He kicked that habit 20 years ago. I then moved to Santa Paula. I became very depressed. I started giving my shock treatments that made me like a zombie. This put a big burden on my family, particularly my younger daughter, Tammy. I hardly remember anything as I went in the bedroom 24/7. Next, I had an apparent mild stroke, and my daughter found me on the floor unconscious. An ambulance took me to emergency and had to put a pacemaker into my chest. After I returned home, I started to get better. Then one night, my daughter asked me if I would like a beer with me. My old alcoholic mind said, why not? The next day, I started drinking vodka again. I hardly had any, so I went to Rite Aid wearing a trench coat. I managed to pull a half gallon of vodka inside. I did that several times until I got caught. I then proceeded to hide vodka in my bedroom. One morning, my daughter said, it's time for breakfast. And I said, I'm having an orange juice, just like at Denny's. She picked up the glass, which was half vodka and half orange juice. My daughter said, that is enough. You've got to get some help. Now, I previously went to emergency 3 times with an alcohol content of 3.0 plus. She then took me to mental health. A super constable then arranged for me to go to the men's AA SAG meeting on Thursday nights. I started getting better and feeling almost human again. I was an absolute disaster of health when I went there. 11 months later, I got my first 1 year chip. That was one of the best feelings I ever had. I then found out I had diabetes. That was probably caused by my drinking and not eating properly. I haven't had a drop since. For those who are getting started, hang in there. It will eventually ruin your life and your health. It's also a total waste of money. I could have had a brand new Cadillac and $10,000 in the bank. I had a sponsor, Tim, who was a tremendous help to me. He came to a couple meetings for me and gave me inspiration. I remember when I got my first birthday cake, I cried like a baby. Actually, what really got me started was when I got up one morning. I went in front of the mirror and looked at myself. I'm talking to you. What are you doing to your body and your mind? I then went into the bathroom and flushed my cigarettes down the toilet. I really don't want a case of lung cancer or my face to look like a prune. I'm luckier than most. I have a super loving family and a super friend, Bill. I also have a cat named Kobe. I named him after Kobe Bryant. Yesterday, I got a call from my oldest daughter, and who was 18 years of sobriety and now also stopped drinking. She had a cousin who was living with her, who was a major alcoholic. That night before he stole $30 from a person proceeded to get wasted. She wanted to know if I could help him. The next day I talked to him on the phone and gave him all the advice I could. The next day I talked to my daughter and she said he was going to rehab. And the next day, if you want to get some added inspiration, I recommend watching these movies, Clean and Sober, The Man with the Golden Arm, The Lost Weekend, and one that I love most is The Days of Wine and Roses. My AA birthday is August 16th, 20 years of sobriety. My daughter Tammy, who is here, also has 4 months sobriety. Tammy, stand up. I'll be 75 years old in July, and I thank the Lord every day and night for letting me live that long. If you need any advice, please be free to call me anytime, no matter what time of the day. My phone number is 957-4636. Thank you so much for letting me share with you. God bless you. That's all I got to say. It's just, I got a birthday party coming up the 28th of July.